Listen to me. Average is crowded. Average is easy. Average is safe. But greatness is lonely. Greatness requires sacrifice. If you want to dominate life, you got to stop settling for average and start demanding excellence from yourself every single day. Listen to me. The reason most people stay stuck where they are is not because they don't have talent, not because they don't have opportunities, not because life is unfair. The reason they stay stuck is because they keep giving themselves permission to be average. Average is nothing more than a collection of excuses disguised as reasons. I can't do it because I don't have the money. I can't push myself because I'm tired. I can't make it happen because nobody supports me. That's not truth. That's comfort talking. Average has become the language of excuses, and the more you speak it, the more powerless you become. Greatness, on the other hand, is not about conditions. It's about choices. It's about waking up and deciding that you're not going to let your circumstances dictate your destiny. Do you think the people who are dominating in life had everything handed to them? Absolutely not. They chose greatness in the middle of struggle. They chose greatness when it was uncomfortable, when it was inconvenient, when it didn't make sense. And that's why their lives look different from everyone else's. See, average people wait for things to get easy. They wait for the perfect opportunity, the perfect situation, the perfect timing. But the truth is, there is no perfect time. The only time is now. And if you keep waiting, you will wake up 10 years from now realizing that you've wasted your life hiding behind excuses. The greatest tragedy is not that you failed. It's that you never gave yourself a chance to succeed because you chose average over action. When you choose greatness, you stop negotiating with your limitations. You stop telling yourself that you can't because you're tired, because you don't have enough, because you weren't born with the same advantages as somebody else. Greatness doesn't ask for excuses. It demands results. And the only way you deliver results is by making a decision. Every day, when you open your eyes, you have two choices: to stay average or to go after greatness. That's it. No middle ground. Average is easy because it costs you nothing up front. It doesn't require you to sacrifice. It doesn't require you to sweat. It doesn't require you to stretch. But later, average will cost you everything. It will cost you your dreams, your potential, your purpose. Greatness, on the other hand, costs you everything up front: your energy, your effort, your discipline. But in return, it gives you freedom, fulfillment, and legacy. You have to decide which price you're willing to pay. And here's the truth: see, choosing greatness is not about being the best in the world. It's about being the best version of yourself. Too many people think greatness is about fame, money, or recognition. That's not it. Greatness is about refusing to cheat yourself. It's about refusing to leave potential on the table. It's about waking up every day and giving the absolute best you've got, regardless of whether anyone claps for you or not. You've been living at 50%, 60%, maybe 70% of what you're capable of, and you call that life. That's not life. That's survival. That's settling for average. The greatness inside you is begging for you to stop making excuses and start making moves. Every time you hit snooze, every time you procrastinate, every time you say, tomorrow, you're choosing average. But every time you push through the pain, every time you do what you said you would do, every time you give more than what's expected, you're choosing greatness. The question is simple. Are you going to keep hiding behind excuses, or are you finally going to choose greatness? Because once you make that choice, nothing, not your past, not your pain, not your problems, can stop you from dominating life. The life you're living right now is a reflection of the standards you've set for yourself. If you demand average, you'll get average. If you accept mediocrity, mediocrity will be your reality. But the moment you raise your standards, the moment you say, This is no longer acceptable for me. Everything in your life begins to shift. People think success is about talent, connections, or luck. But the truth is, it's about the standard you live by every single day. If your standard is low, your results will always be low. If your standard is high, even when you fall short, you'll still be further ahead than most. Most people stay stuck, not because they can't do better, but because they refuse to demand better from themselves. They're comfortable with being good enough. They're satisfied with doing just enough to get by. They work just enough not to get fired. They study just enough not to fail. They train just enough to stay in shape, but never enough to dominate. That's what keeps them stuck. Your standards are like your internal thermostat. If it's set low, you will never rise higher than the level you've accepted for yourself. Think about it. If you've decided that waking up late is normal, then you'll always wake up late. If you've decided that giving 50% effort is fine, then that's all you'll ever give. If you've decided that procrastinating is just part of your personality, then you'll stay behind your whole life. But the second you say, this is no longer who I am, this is no longer acceptable, I deserve more, and I demand more, then your actions will rise to meet that new standard. Raising your standards is not about talking big, it's about living big. Anybody can say they want success, but very few will raise their habits to align with that vision. Success doesn't come to people who want it. It comes to people who raise their standards to match it. You can't keep saying you want to be wealthy and then spend recklessly. You can't keep saying you want to be fit and then skip workouts. You can't keep saying you want to be great and then settle for giving half effort. Your standards reveal your truth. The reason raising your standards is so powerful is because it forces growth. It forces you to do the things you don't feel like doing. It forces you to go beyond comfort and push into commitment. That's why so many people avoid it. They'd rather stay stuck than raise their standards, because raising standards demands accountability. Once you raise them, you can't blame your boss, your parents, your friends, or your past. The responsibility falls on you, and that's where greatness begins. When you take ownership and demand more from yourself than anybody else demands from you. Look at the people you admire, the ones who inspire you. Do you think they got there by keeping low standards? No, they decided that average was not an option. They demanded more discipline, more focus, more consistency, more sacrifice. And because they raised their standards, life had no choice but to give them better results. Life doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you're willing to demand through your standards. So if you're tired of being stuck, tired of living the same cycle, tired of feeling like nothing is changing, then you need to stop waiting for a miracle and raise your standards. Stop tolerating laziness. Stop accepting broken promises from yourself. Stop being okay with good enough. You were not created to live at the level of average. You were created to rise, to grow, to stretch, to dominate. The only thing holding you back is the standard you've settled for. The biggest war you will ever fight is the war between what feels good right now and what will pay off later. Comfort whispers, stay in bed a little longer, skip the workout, eat whatever you want, do it tomorrow. Comfort always sells you the easy path, but the easy path never takes you to greatness. Discipline is the opposite voice, the one that says, get up, push harder, stick to the plan, do it now. Comfort gives you temporary relief, but discipline gives you permanent results. If you want to dominate life, you have to stop letting comfort control your decisions and start letting discipline guide your actions. Discipline is not glamorous and it's not always fun. It doesn't feel good when the alarm goes off at 5 a.m. and you drag yourself out of bed. It doesn't feel good when you're sore, but you still hit the gym. It doesn't feel good when you turn off the TV and grind on your goals while everyone else is relaxing. But discipline isn't supposed to feel good in the moment. It's supposed to transform you in the long run. Comfort feels good now, but leaves you weak later. Discipline feels tough now, but leaves you strong later. Most people never reach their potential because they keep bowing down to comfort. They want success, but they don't want sacrifice. They want to look good, but they don't want to sweat. They want wealth, but they don't want to work late. They want freedom, but they don't want structure. You cannot have both. Comfort and greatness cannot live in the same house. If you're serious about changing your life, you have to make discipline your new normal. Think about the people who dominate in any field. Athletes, leaders, entrepreneurs, they didn't get there by accident. They mastered discipline. They practiced when others were partying. They worked when others were sleeping. They studied when others were wasting time. And over time, that discipline separated them from the average crowd. Comfort might make you fit in, but discipline makes you stand out. Discipline is a muscle, and like any muscle, the more you use it, the stronger it gets. The problem is, most people never train it. They give in to every craving, every distraction, every excuse. They think discipline is punishment, when in reality, it's freedom. Discipline frees you from regret. Discipline frees you from mediocrity. Discipline frees you from the pain of what if. Comfort chains you to the same cycle over and over, but discipline breaks the cycle and elevates your life. There will always be a choice in front of you: do what's easy or do what's necessary. Comfort says, stay the same. Discipline says, growl. Comfort says, protect yourself from struggle. Discipline says, embrace the struggle, because the struggle is where you get stronger. Every time you choose comfort, you train your mind to settle. Every time you choose discipline, you train your mind to dominate. The truth is, comfort will never give you the life you dream of. Comfort will never make you proud of yourself. Comfort will never unlock the greatness that's inside of you. But discipline will. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you're meant to be. Discipline is the key to transforming your body, your mind, your finances, your relationships, and your entire future. If you want to rise above average and truly dominate life, you have to kill the addiction to comfort and build your foundation on discipline. Your environment will either push you toward greatness or pull you deeper into mediocrity. The people you surround yourself with are either fuel for your fire or water on your flame. If you hang around settlers, people who are content with average, who accept excuses, who play life safe, you will eventually become one of them. But if you surround yourself with killers, people with vision, people who grind, people who refuse to settle, you will be forced to level up. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You rise to the level of the people you spend your time with. Settlers are everywhere. They're the ones who say, relax, don't take life so seriously. They're the ones who get uncomfortable when you start talking about big dreams, because your ambition exposes their lack of drive. They want you to stay average because it makes them feel better about staying average. Settlers will tell you that you're working too hard, that you're obsessed, that you need to slow down. But what they're really saying is, stop reminding me that I quit on my own dreams. If you spend too much time with them, you'll start adopting their mindset without even realizing it. Killers, on the other hand, won't let you settle. They challenge you. Wrong. They demand accountability. They call you out when you're slacking. They don't let you play small because they're not playing small. Killers make you uncomfortable in the best way possible. They stretch you. They force you to see higher, to go harder, to believe in more. When you're around killers, average feels embarrassing, settling feels like betrayal. And that pressure is exactly what transforms you. Think about it. If you're the smartest, strongest, or most driven person in your circle, you're in the wrong circle. Growth only happens when you're surrounded by people who are ahead of you, who make you feel like you're behind, who force you to chase. A killer circle raises your standards just by existing. They don't even have to motivate you with words. Their grind, their habits, their consistency becomes a mirror that shows you where you're slacking. And if you've got any fire inside of you, that mirror will ignite it. Settlers keep you comfortable, but comfort is the enemy of growth. Killers make you uncomfortable, and discomfort is the birthplace of greatness. Settlers gossip, complain, and waste time. Killers plan, execute, and dominate. Settlers want shortcuts. Killers want the long road because they know the struggle builds strength. Settlers talk about dreams. Killers chase them down. Settlers stop when it hurts. Killers push until it breaks. Which group do you think is going to take you where you want to go? The truth is, you become who you're around. You adopt their language, their habits, their mindset, their energy. If you're around 4 people who are lazy, guess who becomes the 5th? If you're around 4 people who grind, who build, who grow, who never quit, you'll eventually become the 5th of that group too. It's impossible to stay average when you're surrounded by killers because the environment won't let you. You'll either rise or you'll get left behind. That's why you've got to be ruthless about who you allow in your space. This isn't about being arrogant. It's about protecting your destiny. If somebody is comfortable being average, that's their choice, but it can't be yours. If somebody's son is satisfied with settling, but you can't let it rub off on you. Your circle should scare you a little. Your circle should inspire you a lot. Your circle should make you wake up earlier, work harder, and think bigger. Killers sharpen killers. Settlers weaken settlers. You have to decide which environment you want to live in because the people you walk with will determine the direction of your entire life. Pain is life's universal language. Everybody feels it. Disappointment, failure, heartbreak, struggle, rejection, loss. You can't escape it, no matter who you are or where you come from. The difference between those who stay broken and those who rise is not whether they experience pain, but what they do with it. Average people run from pain, they numb it, they hide it, they let it control them. But the great ones, the ones who dominate life, they flip the script. They take pain and turn it into power. They don't let it break them. They let it build them. Pain has 2 sides. It can either be a prison or a platform. Most people choose the prison. They sit inside their hurt and replay it over and over, convincing themselves that the world is against them, that they don't have what it takes, that life isn't fair. But when you use pain as a platform, you stand on top of it. You take the very thing that tried to destroy you and make it the reason you go harder. You turn the betrayal into fuel. You turn the rejection into motivation. You turn the failure into focus. The truth is, your greatest growth will come from your deepest pain. Think back on your life. The moments that hurt the most, the moments you thought you wouldn't survive, those are the very moments that shaped you. They revealed your resilience, your strength, your fight. Pain teaches lessons comfort never could. Pain exposes weakness, but also forces you to build strength. Pain strips away excuses and forces you to face the raw truth of who you are. And in that process, if you lean into it instead of running from it, you find power you never knew you had. Everybody wants success, but nobody wants struggle. Everybody wants the crown, but nobody wants the cross. You can't separate pain from greatness. They walk together. The people you admire, the ones who inspire you, they've been through storms you don't even know about. They cried, they bled, they failed, they fell. But instead of quitting, they converted that pain into energy. They refused to let their wounds be wasted. They understood that pain is not punishment. It's preparation. When you embrace pain, you take control of it. You stop asking, why me? And start saying, try me. You stop feeling sorry for yourself and start using your story. That broken home, that job you lost, that person who walked away, that season where everything went wrong. Those can either be excuses for why you never made it or reasons why you went harder than anybody else. The choice is yours. Pain is powerful because it creates hunger. When you've been broke, you appreciate wealth differently. When you've been counted out, you value victory differently. When you've been through loss, you love deeper, you fight harder, you live more fully. Pain gives you an edge, a fire, a grit that comfort could never give. Comfort makes you soft, but pain makes you sharp. Comfort lulls you to sleep, but pain wakes you up. Comfort keeps you average, but pain pushes you toward greatness. Don't waste your pain. Don't let it just sit there as a scar that reminds you of what you lost. Let it be the fuel that drives you to build, to grind, to rise. Let it remind you that you survived what was meant to destroy you. And because you survived that, nothing else can stop you. Let your pain become proof that you were forged in fire, and that fire made you unstoppable. Pain doesn't have to end your story. It can become the very power that defines it. Every single day you are given the same gift that every successful person has, 24 hours. No more, no less. The difference between the one who rises to greatness and the one who stays stuck in average is not opportunity, not luck, not connections. It's how they use those 24 hours. Time is the great equalizer. You can't buy more of it. You can't trade for it. You can't borrow it. Once it's gone forever. The question is, are you dominating your 24 or are you letting it slip away piece by piece without even realizing it? Average people waste hours like they're unlimited. They scroll on their phones, binge, watch shows, talk about things that don't matter, procrastinate on tasks they know they should be doing. And then they complain that life isn't fair, that they don't have enough time, that success is out of reach. The truth is, they had the same 24 hours as the millionaire, the athlete, the leader, the innovator. The difference is they didn't dominate their day, they surrendered it. To dominate your 24 hours means you live with intention. It means when you wake up, you already know what needs to be done and you refuse to let distractions steal your focus. It means you attack the day instead of letting the day attack you. People who dominate their 24 don't wait until they, like working, they get up and do it whether they feel like it or not. They understand that discipline is more valuable than motivation because motivation comes and goes, but discipline makes sure the work gets done. Look at how much time gets wasted in the name of comfort. I'll start tomorrow. I'll do it later. I just need a break. And then you wonder why nothing changes. You're losing battles every single day because you're giving away hours to laziness, to fear, to distraction. The truth is, if you don't respect your time, nobody else will either. You teach people how to treat your time by how you treat it yourself. When you dominate your 24, you break your day into commitments and you honor those commitments like your life depends on it. Because it does. Every hour you waste is an hour you never get back. Every day you coast through is a day that could have moved you closer to your goals. You don't get to recycle days. You don't get to replay weeks. You don't get to relive years. All you get is now. And the way you manage now determines what your future looks like. People love to dream about where they want to be in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, but they ignore the only thing that matters the day right in front of them. You don't build a legacy in one leap. You build it by stacking one dominated day on top of another. Success is not a random event. It's a daily habit. If you dominate today and then dominate tomorrow and then dominate the next day, eventually those days compound into a life of greatness. Domination doesn't mean you never rest. It doesn't mean you grind every second without pause. It means when you rest with purpose. And when you work with focus. It means you don't let entertainment steal hours from your dreams. It means you don't let excuses rob you of opportunity. It means you treat every 24 like it's your last, because one day it will be. You've been given time that millions of people no longer have. You've been trusted with 24 hours that some people didn't wake up to see. The question is, what are you doing with it? Are you wasting it like it's infinite, or are you dominating it like it's sacred? Because the ones who win, the ones who build, the ones who inspire, they don't just exist through their days. They dominate their 24 hours with relentless focus and unshakable discipline.